Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of the Hyperice Hypervolt and basically a clone that I got off AliExpress. Hypervolt retails for $350. This guy was $58 or $57 shipped. So big price difference, but is it just as good? Now if you're watching this video, you've probably know what the Hypervolt is, maybe even used it, you want one, but you're wondering if there's a lower priced alternative that's just as good. So we'll find out. Now, looking at them side by side, this one is clearly a clone of this one. Right, dimensions are pretty much the same. Tab for the battery release is the same. The battery looks exactly the same. So much so that I thought they might be interchangeable. Right, they come out the same way, and if you look at the printing on it, everything is exactly the same with the exception of where this says Hyperice. This doesn't have the branding on it, but down to the designed in USA, assembled in China, that's all there, right? They work the same way. There's a switch on the bottom, powers the battery on. This green light is the battery indicator. As you use the battery, it turns from a deep green, turns to a lighter green to yellow, and that's when you know the battery's running out of juice. Now, so the Hypervolt came in a cardboard box. I don't have it with me here. It's a nice cardboard box with foam, nice foam padding with some cutouts for all the different attachments. The clone actually came in nicer packaging, I thought, than the Hypervolt. So it actually came in this nice, hard, zippered, pretty lightweight travel case. Has slots for all the different attachments. The attachments that came with both are exactly the same. You have the hard foam ball, this little smaller trigger point tip, flat tip, and this U-shaped tip that's for use along your spine so you can get both sides without hitting your spine. The tips are actually interchangeable, right? So if I pull the one out from the Hypervolt, pull this one out, fits right in, and all the tips are interchangeable. So now let's see, is this that much better than this one? Let's give it a shot. So let me find the right battery. Now, the biggest selling point for me of the Hypervolt was how quiet it was. I've built my own massager with a jigsaw before. I actually have another video instructing you how if you want to go that route. Problem with the jigsaw massager, it's super loud and it's heavy. It works very, very well, but it's heavy, so your arm gets tired if you're trying to do your own back, and it's super loud. So if you bring it to the gym, everyone's looking at you. Makes a lot of noise. It's distracting. You can't really use it while you're at home watching TV. This one, both of these actually are quiet enough that I can just sit at home and hit my quads or whatever while I'm watching TV. What I will say though is when I first got this, it's quieter than it was now. So let's start these up and you can see what I mean. So switch on the bottom turns the battery on. There's also a battery indicator here on the actual unit. That lights go down as you use the battery. Power button here has 3 speeds on the Hypervolt. That's 1, 2, 3. Now, like I mentioned, this used to be a lot quieter, but as I used it, it got louder and louder. It's a little rattly. It still works perfectly well though, and I've talked to a few other people who also have the Hypervolt, and they all experience the same thing. So curious to see if this one does the same, if it gets louder and louder over time. Either way, even at its current volume, it's 10 times quieter than the jigsaw is. Still usable while you're watching TV, use it at the gym, with the music going, nobody really notices either. So let me show you how loud this guy is and how to use this one. So same thing. On the bottom, green light battery indicator on the actual battery. What's different about this, which I actually think is pretty cool, is you actually get a battery percentage there. So that 90 right there is the actual percentage of battery life left. It's cool. I like it better than this, but it's not our make or break, right? This is certainly good enough. I never really let it get all the way down anyway, but it is kind of nifty. You get the percentage there. Difference between this and the Hypervolt, instead of 3 speeds, it's fully variable from 0 to 20. So you hit the on button on here, it starts going at 1, and there's a plus and a minus that you use to increase and decrease the speed. Going up all the way to 20. So you can hear how much quieter this is than the Hypervolt right now. The Hypervolt was about this volume new. So again, I'm curious to see if it gets louder and louder with use as well. So let's test them out, see how they feel, right? That's the most important part. So here is that 1. Nice and powerful. You can really push into your body and it doesn't slow down. It maintains its power and its pace, doesn't slow down, doesn't get weaker. 2. And 3. That's that. So at 1, you can see it's a lot slower than this at 1. All right. But I guess it would be more accurate to compare this a third of the way up. So out of 20, let's call it a 7, right? So this is the 7 versus the 1. Looks pretty similar. Let's see what it feels like. Let's do side by side. Yeah, I'd say the 7 on this is pretty comparable to the 1. So let's get this up to 14 and this on 2 and see what the difference is. Pretty close. This is definitely a little faster and a little more powerful on 2 than this is at 14. Let's see. Okay. So 16 on the clone is pretty equal to a 2 on the Hypervolt. Let's turn it all the way up to 20 and this on 3. You know what? Much bigger difference here. So this on full blast is not as powerful as the Hypervolt on full blast. It's still very good, but not all that much stronger than a 2. It's somewhere between the 2 and the 3 on the actual Hypervolt. Still works great, still feels great. To be honest, most of the time I don't use the Hypervolt on 3 either, only in some of the kind of harder use places, but usually when I'm doing my pecs or my quads, my calves, I'm usually on a 2. Sometimes I'll go to a 3 on my quads and calves, but upper body, anterior delt, side delt, pec major, I'm usually on a 2 anyway. So for those purposes, this is good enough, right? But when you really, if you want something that's super powerful, super strong, super fast, this definitely outshines this. As far as the price difference goes though, is it worth it, right? This was a little under $60. This was $350. I will put the link for this one down in the description if you're interested in it. So is it worth the difference? You know what, that's hard to say. I'd say this one is clearly more powerful, stronger. So if you need that, then this is the winner, right? I think for most applications though, for most people, this is probably good enough. And for $60, I'd say it's well worth it. So let me put it that way. For $60, this is well worth it. If you want the best of the best, you don't mind spending the money, this is definitely better than this one. Honestly, I feel like if I didn't have the Hypervolt or if I've never used the Hypervolt before and I just got this, I'd probably be pretty happy with it. I think it would be a rare occasion where I'd be using it and think to myself, oh man, I wish this was a little faster, a little more powerful. I feel like if this is the only reference point I had, it would be good enough for me. now that I've used the Hypervolt and I have one, going back, if I didn't have both of them, if I could choose one for 350 or the other for 60, that's a tough call. That's a tough call. Again, I'd say if you're looking to save some money, you don't want to build your own with a jigsaw, you want one that's a little more portable, well worth the $60. If you have the money, you want the best of the best, go with the original Hypervolt. Right? So yeah, I'll put the description on the bottom. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll probably do a follow-up video after I've used this one for a few months and see if it gets louder, see if it holds up. That's the other thing with the Hypervolt. You have a 1-year warranty. With this one, I'm not confident that if anything goes wrong or breaks, you're gonna get much help through AliExpress. But again, I think what I'll do is I'll put this one away for a little bit, and over the next month or two, I'll use this one exclusively, see how it holds up, and see if my opinion changes after that time. Thanks for watching.